Hey guys, so welcome to a little mini vlog of me going to work as a fiber instructor. Tonight is knitting level 1 and it's going to be their week 2 that they're completing today. So I thought I would bring you along, show you around campus a little bit, show you the classroom, show you the paperwork and stuff, just to get a little behind the scenes. So if you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. And I make crochet content mostly, a little bit of knitting, but if that's your vibe, stick around and come along with me. Okay guys, so I just made it into my classroom and I'm gonna get my table set up, and then I will go over what is in my little kit here. This thing is actually a makeup travel case, but it's been my saving grace. So we'll go through it and I'll show you what I keep in it, and I do pack it and unpack it for different classes. So let me go ahead and get started. Okay, so first things first, each compartment breaks apart. So this first one is where I keep some stitch markers, tapestry, my personal set of interchangeable hooks. I've got some binder clips, just some swatches of different textures and patterns. What are you doing in here? Stress pill from something, I don't know what. And then this handy tool is called a document camera, and it's how I display my hands on screen for the students to learn. And then my larger interchangeable. Sometimes I have more things in here depending on if I feel like the students need more. But this is only night 2 and I think it's going well. So lifting off the second portion, I just keep a bag of scissors, and I do use the full-size ones because the embroidery ones tended to break on us with time. So those work a little bit better. In here is my yarn that I use to demonstrate. This is actually called Lazy Days by Lion Brand, and it's a tube yarn, but it's a bulky tube yarn. So it's great for what we're using for our needles. Random pair of scissors. I did not clean this out since last class, but I'm still going to show you. And then in here, I have a kit for each of the students and the laminated handout. So let me open up a kit and show you what's all in it. Okay, so I set out the packets and the laminated handouts, which I will show you. So each person, I carry these along just in case I have extra people or I don't have printouts. So I designed all these myself in Canva, and it kind of just goes over the 2 basic styles of knitting. And then we have some like just introduction to fiber lingo, like what some acronyms mean. And then the beginnings of how to read a pattern. And then I made this guide for step-to-step instructions on how to do each of the knit and purl stitches. So in case you didn't know, knitting is only 2 stitches, a knit and a purl, and you do different combinations and wrap your yarn in different methods to create all the different textures that you will see. So that's what I have there. And then I also created these weekly handouts. And it's just basically what we go over. And so it has week 1 and week 2, and we will also have week 3. So on the front here, 2nd and 3rd. And so by doing that, it kind of just helps them reiterate what we learned in class. So that's all that I have on that. And then I also give them this to start learning, and that is basically just a guide on how to do different patterns. So how and what the patterns look like. So let me show you those in more detail. So my instructing business is called From Hook to Hand, so that's why it says that. And then this is Knit Purl Beginner Friendly Stitch Patterns, and it's just like basics. So it basically explains how to use each of these. And then this is the one that's most commonly recognized, isn't it? Is the stocking net or stocking stitch. Then we have reverse stocking. We have garter stitch. Moss, which is one of my favorites. Two ribs, so like columns or striping. So yeah, they get this. They get all of the handouts that I've made, and then typically this is the yarn that I recommend them using, and the reason why is because we use a thick. We use the thick and quick is just because it's a bulky, so it works up faster, and they can see the stitches easier than using a thinner yarn. So in each of these kits is straight needles in a 9 or a 10 millimeter size, a circular needle, a tapestry needle, and then sometimes I will include stitch markers, then of course the stitch savers. So the reason why I use bamboo is it gives beginners a lot more control than using plastic or metal, because those are more slippery. So I found like the most success for beginners is using a bamboo or a wooden style. I typically start them out on straight needles, and then if they want to transition to a circular, I do show them that before they leave class. So before class, I love to get here a little bit early just to set everything up. I put out all the kits and all of the paperwork, and then I like to have like a welcoming atmosphere, so I usually put on some kind of music, just so that way it's not dead when they come in. Awkward silence makes me nervous, so. Gangster's Paradise. Doubt anybody will recognize it. Okay, so now that I have all that set up, I go ahead and get out the sign-in sheet for the day. I sign and date it myself, and then I just make sure that everyone signs it that is here so they're accounted for. I'm gonna go put this on the table. Okay, and that's all I usually have for second night that I have to do to set up. So now I'll just remind myself of what I'm teaching. So I'll flip to week 2. We do a review of week 1 when they come in, just to make sure that they remember. And I am going to go over tools because I wasn't able to in last class, so I'm going to talk about all the different tool types and stuff like that. I'll see if I can get a little bit of a recording if everybody's okay with it. It won't be of them because I wouldn't feel right about that, but it'll be on me, so you can kind of hear my spiel of what I do. One thing I forgot to show you is this handy dandy tool. I had never heard of these until I started teaching here, but it's called a document camera. I purchased this off of Amazon, I believe. Okay, so I'm setting up my document camera, and I knew that I had forgotten to Hello.
Hey there.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Hello. Welcome
You
in.
know, I just have to tell you,
What?
you know, I couldn't get it the first time. I didn't. I mean, I got part of it.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so class just ended and I am recording attendance. I already picked up, but I just basically pulled up all the kits and reloaded my little kit that I roll around. Class went great. All of these students have picked it up instantly, man. They have done so well. It makes my job really easy. Yeah. And it looks like they're all going into level 2. We have one more week where we do a really fun project. So I will try to record that to add to this video. Kind of like just like a day in the life of, but it'll be like 3 weeks. I didn't record any for the first week, except just like the footage that you saw earlier. So I didn't really explain anything in those videos, but I still included them so you can kind of see week 1, week 2 is pretty much the same thing. We just review and then learn the second stitch. Let me record the attendance before I forget what I'm doing. Okay, attendance is recorded. Yeah, so I briefly had gone over the different types of needles and stuff, and I wasn't able to record at that point because I didn't have consent forms. So I will basically go over what I did in class, so that way you can kind of know if you're interested in knitting and all of the different knitting needles options that there are. So please hold while I grab a kit real quick to go over. I'm back. Okay, so I went over straight needles and circular needles that were in the kit. So straight needles are like traditional. It's just 2 needles and you go back and forth, back and forth. Then there's circular needles, and those are what you could do in the round and use as a straight needle project. Circular just means that it's connected by a tube and it's non-removable, right? So then the other thing that you have that's really cool than what I have, that's in my personal set, is called interchangeable needles. So this interchangeable set comes with short and long needles. So here's the longer size, and then let me show you shorter, and then the shorter size. So the shorter size I would use more for like socks, that kind of thing, or smaller projects, but you could use it for bigger ones as well. But they're kind of like crochet hooks where they go from a millimeter size, you know, up small to large. So this would be like, for instance, a 2.5 and a 9 millimeter. Like they have all of the sizes. So what's cool about having an interchangeable set is you can use it as a straight needle or you can use it as a circular needle. So the way that you would do that is it comes with these cords that have these metal connectors that you screw together. So in this case, I could just screw on the needle, which I'll just use the one that's on there. And if I wanted to use it as a circular, I would just get the matching size and screw onto the other side. Or if I wanted to use it as a straight needle, I would grab one of these stoppers and screw it onto the end. And the cool thing about that is that if you're making a large blanket and you want to use straight needles, but you don't have a really long straight needle, you can use something like this. Another thing that is included in these kits that I don't have on me right now is a metal connector piece that allows you to add length to your cords. So I could connect, let's say, up to however many cords to get the correct length that I need. These hold up to 3 times the amount of the length of it, right? So if this is, I'm not good at this, but guesstimating, say this is 14 inches, right? I know that I could do, let me do math real quick. 14 and 14 is 28, plus 14 is 29, 30, 31, 32, 42. So I could do 42 stitches, or like 42 up to 42 inches, I mean, not stitches, on just this cord. So you can fit a lot more stitches than you think. Same goes for the traditional straight needles. You can fit up to 3 times of the length of the needle. So I just like these interchangeable ones because I literally never need another set of needles because this does all the things for me. So I was just kind of showing them that, explaining what the tools are called and all of that, so that way as they are going forward in their knitting journey, they can know what to purchase. Next week, I will be showing them how to use a gauge ruler to do, like, check their gauge with knitting, which is a little bit different than with, same concept as with crochet, but you definitely have to follow a gauge. At least in my experience, you can't just wing it. I wing a lot of things in crochet, but I cannot wing those things in knitting. I'll also be showing them how to knit in the round, which I will show on camera. I have to actually go home and practice it because I had a student ask me tonight, and I could not, for the life of me, I like literally had it in my hands and could not remember. But it's been since January and it is now August. So I'm just gonna chalk it up to, like, I've just been so exhausted and I haven't used that skill, so I've got to re-show myself how to do that. So we're gonna do in the round. I'm gonna show them how to do gauge, and then we are doing a project. So our project is a mug rug, which is a coaster. It's super cute. We do it with all cotton, and then add some fringe on the ends. So I will actually, when I go home tonight, I'm going to work up a little sample so they know what it's supposed to look like, because I have sold all the ones that I had made from the other classes. I added those in my markets and they went like hotcakes. Anyway, so I am going to go home, work up that mug coaster, and then show myself again how to knit in the round because your girl done forget. Anyways, that was all for tonight. I don't think I have anything else. So, bye for now. So, classroom is all picked up and I'm saying goodnight. I honestly think that my campus is so pretty. I absolutely love working in a beautiful